Hello everyone. Yeah, I have no idea what the fuck is actually going on, and it looks like everything's about to, I don't know, maybe just fucking self-immolate at this point, so I'm gonna try to keep everything incredibly short today, so I'm back in the comfy confines of my normal home. Well, not my normal home really, but the normal place where I normally do the recording, so I'm gonna try to keep this incredibly brief and incredibly short because I'm using kind of an old setup of a computer that's kind of barely fucking functioning, and I don't know. I don't know. So hopefully I've got some parts on the way. So maybe within like a week or so we'll be back to normal, and hopefully we'll have some sort of a fucking schedule, because by the time that all of this shit is up, I don't even know if this is going to be news anymore, but it sure looks like it. And you know what? We're just all still kind of riding along the exact same kind of path that Joe Biden's been putting us all on lately. And he came out and he had this goofy little thing to say. He's like, he says there's no federal solution to the COVID-19 pandemic, okay? This pandemic's going to continue to just march on into the future unimpeded, and there's nothing that the federal government can do about it. And that's what most of us have been saying for a very long time, but it is something that Joe Biden campaigned on, okay? Remember when he said, I'm not going to lock down the country, I'm going to lock down the virus, and that's the way that we're going to stop it, right? Well, it's a little bit tough when you just keep continuing to implement different mandates and a bunch of different restrictions on the First Amendment, the Second Amendment, the Fourth and Fifth Amendment as well. You just really don't care now, do you? Of course not. But it's funny because other people have also picked up on the little thread that he threw down. So, well, we'll see what's going on with them in a moment. President Joe Biden now says that there is no federal solution to the COVID-19 pandemic. So what does that mean with his vaccine mandate through OSHA for the private sector, for healthcare people, for Medicare providers, Medicare, Medicaid as well? It's just like, it's almost like you should probably figure out what the fuck is going on before you start to force these things through, because if they were, in fact, so very, very easily implementable, if they were one of those things that was going to be illegally backed, then why do you say all of a sudden now there's nothing you can do about it? You're just throwing your hands up in the air and you're walking out of the room. Well, at your age, it's more or less just the shuffling, and hopefully you eventually hit the open door. This gets solved at the state level. Oh, really? Okay, Biden said at a meeting on December 27th. So this was yesterday with the National Governors Association and the White House response team. It ultimately, gets down to where the rubber meets the road and more cliches. You always know whenever Biden's talking, as opposed to just a written prepared statement for him, because it's, we're gonna do all this. It's like cliche after cliche, because I think that's probably something that's very deeply ingrained in the mind of, I don't know, certain mentally compromised people that are out there. Don't really know. The nation has seen an uptick of COVID cases in recent weeks among both vaccinated and unvaccinated populations. I want a breakdown of all that stuff. But anyways, as a result of the Omicron variant, which is now the dominant strain of COVID in the United States. How do we know that? We'll just take your word for it. Biden, who had vowed during the 2020 campaign to beat the virus and just keep on punching it, like how we're going to tackle domestic violence. We're just going to continue to punch it and punch it and punch it. Anyways. When the pandemic began, also continues to assert that the nation isn't in the same place it was in March of 2020 when the pandemic began. He, along with federal health officials, continue to tout vaccines as being effective and safe and effective. Are they, though? Anyways, in recent days, Biden has moved to increase the number of vaccine sites around the nation and increase spending on COVID tests by $3 billion that you're paying for. Now, it's really tough, especially when these vaccination and testing sites are closing down in places like New York City, Chicago, Philadelphia. We talked about those a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, those continue to shut down, but I'm going to go ahead and I'll fight the virus. Sure you are. He conceded on December 27th that it's still tough for some folks to get a test over the Christmas weekend. It really, I'm pretty sure you can go to just about any fucking street corner, and if you can either get some meth, you might be able to cop a needle, but you could also get the poke. It really doesn't matter. Biden also referenced the federal stockpile of personal protective equipment and expressed concern over the rise of hospitalization, saying the federal government is prepared. But there's no federal solution to this, so exactly what the fuck are you trying to do anymore, Joe? You're kind of sending mixed messages, my dude. So that was yesterday, but let's, now that he got his update for the day, or I guess the White House now, just because Joe maybe was going off script a little bit, the White House is trying to pick up where the old man left off. So the White House is trying to walk back Biden's admission that there is no federal solution. You know why they're having to do that? Well, you've probably seen the thumbnail. You can probably put two and two together, obviously. A day after President Joe Biden declared to the nation's governors that there is no federal solution to stopping the spread of the coof, the White House, right, because it's different. The president is no longer a part of the White House administration. It's old crazy Uncle Joe out there just sputtering off into oblivion. And then you have the White House administration, okay? You have that nameless, well, it has a name, okay? It has that faceless, shapeless organization where you just put all your trust in and listen to the intern that runs the social media correspondence. The Biden-Harris administration is making sure states have what they need to tackle COVID, including 1,000 additional doctors and nurses. Yeah, but you keep firing them, or putting them, I'm sorry, not firing them, okay, putting them on unpaid leave. Sure, stockpiling millions of gowns, gloves, masks, and ventilators, adding vaccine and booster capacity, tweeted the White House official's Twitter account, and more. Cool, that sounds like a threat. Klain hit the Twitter emergency button. Twitter conservative Stephen L. Miller, I think he was part of the White House, a Trump administration. There were so many Millers that were there. Jason, Stephen, different Stephen, taking a jab at the White House Chief of Staff, Ron Klain. Yeah, obviously, Joe went off script, and yeah, now they're going to have to try to walk it back. It's like, no, we still want that power, but unfortunately, Joe, you said that you're going to be leaving it up to the states. Well, if you're going to live by that sword, you're going to have to die by that sword, my guy. Now, get rid of your mandates, Joe. Ron DeSantis' office joins Kristi, Noem, and a host of Republicans demanding Biden get rid of useless, sweeping nationwide rules after he admitted there was no federal solution to COVID. Yeah, exactly. You can't legislate this shit away, okay? As much as it makes for a nice catchy campaign slogan, I'm gonna lock down the virus, not every one of my Americans. I'm gonna be the president of, it doesn't matter if you're red or you're blue, I'm gonna be here for you. Sort of, kind of, because I can barely be here for me. Anyways, what a good old Ron DeSantis. Jesus Christ, right here at the end of the year, we're just kind of circling back and just catching up with everybody again. Governor Ron DeSantis wants Joe Biden to scrap his useless vaccine mandate after he told the leaders of 25 states that there is no federal solution to the COVID-19 pandemic, his office said on Tuesday. Okay. The Republican governors of Florida, South Dakota, Arizona, Republican Arizona governor, really, and Texas, plus a host of other GOP figures, are calling on Biden to drop his sweeping vaccine order. But you know what? Hey, right now it's in the hands of the Supreme Court, and they're hearing oral arguments on it. What is it, the 7th, when it has to take place on the 10th? It's coming up next week. I think next week, anyway. No, I'm sorry. The following Monday, whatever that is, anyways, early in the new year. Out of just out of the four, just Arizona Governor Doug Ducey participated in the call. DeSantis spokesperson told a Daily Mail the president is abdicating responsibility and shifting blame to the states. More Americans have died of the coof under Biden than under Trump. Facts. Now that Biden has admitted to the nation that he has no plan to shut down the virus and that there is no federal solution, we expect him to withdraw the unconstitutional and useless federal vaccine mandates. I'm sure this will all fall on deaf ears, but Joe made a stupid admission. You gotta hold his feet to the fire, okay? It's one of those things. It's like, yeah, okay, can you really blame all these deaths on Biden? Well, if you campaign on it and you say that you got this big solution, the other guy who was in charge, he didn't know what the fuck was going on, so how could we trust him to do anything? Well, guess what? You live by that sword, you gotta die by it. DeSantis' office also recalled Biden's message to Republican governors in August who were blocking a mask and vaccine mandates. Please help. But you aren't going to help. At least get out of the way. Exactly. Governor DeSantis defied this petty tyrant and continued to stand in the way of unconstitutional federal overreach. The governor stands for parental rights, individual liberties, and medical freedom, including the freedom to access treatments for COVID-19 that are proven effective. What are those exactly? Can't say that on YouTube, but you guys know the ones. One starts with an I, another one is monoclonal antibodies. I think I can say that one, but yeah, no, proven effective. I don't know. Should you have the right to try? Of course you should. Now, Biden admits there's no federal solution and that he's abdicating responsibility and shifting blame. Politics as usual. Now, Kristi Noem, who, you know what, is an unreliable ally to say the least, but if she is spearheading this, that's definitely a positive in her column. Okay, South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem also joined DeSantis in demanding Biden roll back his vaccine mandate on Tuesday morning. Okay, there I was trying to give her some credit, but once again, she's just tagging along. After a year, we finally agree Biden, the federal government, isn't a solution, Noem wrote on Twitter. Ooh. Yeah, but as you can see here, look at what the media is covering, okay? I don't know the proper classification for Daily Mail. I don't know if they're right, left, center, up, down, back, front, whatever the fuck they are, but I think that they're a fairly accurate representation of what's going on there, at least in my opinion. But what this is showing here, it's like, okay, what they're reporting on when it comes to the COOF this time around, look at the change in cases over the past 2 weeks, where Omicron is spreading. What about people that are in the hospital? What about people who are dying? Oh no, there's case changes in some of the states where it's warmer, where people are going around. Because I don't know what it's like in Colorado right now. I'm sure a lot of people are out skiing. There you got a big old change. Okay, and then you got severe drops in places like Montana, okay, South Dakota, Maine, okay, and then you got big increases in Georgia and Florida, Texas, New York, New Jersey, Maryland. It's like, it's not playing favorites, okay? It's not going, oh, we're only going to go ahead and double, triple, quadruple in places that are controlled by Republicans or Democrats. It's just going everywhere. It's like a fucking virus. It's almost like you can't just sign your name on something and make it fucking magically go away. You're just going to have to learn to live with it. And I think that that is finally something that at least Joe said out loud. Don't know if he necessarily believes it or not, and it's really tough to pin him down as to what he actually believes to begin with, but we'll see where it goes. I think that's eventually just what's gonna happen, okay? Unless they find something that's far more deadly out there to try to scare everybody back to what they consider normal, because I think that we're probably back on the path to normalcy. This is the most optimistic I've been about this in a long time, so hopefully you are the same, because you know some of the facts at least. But with that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.